Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is going to be for twin flames that are currently in separation. I've already laid out my cards, mostly because it takes me a while to shuffle and that is a little bit boring to watch. So this is the spread. I'm doing a Celtic cross spread, which is my favourite spread. And we're going to start in the centre. So this is the current situation, which is how you're feeling, I suppose, or what's currently going on for you. We've got the King of Wands, and it could be that you're masculine, the divine masculine in the connection is a fire sign. It could mean that, or it could mean that you're a fire sign. This King of Wands, it to me is, and I would not normally say this, but to me is a feeling a little bit uneasy. It's a slight hesitancy, I suppose, is the best word to put here. Not quite sure. See, normally with the King of Wands, I would say that they're very dynamic and engaging and creative and know what they're doing and have a plan. But for some reason, I'm not really feeling that today. Possibly because what's crossing that card is the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups is a card of not having what you want. Being dissatisfied, I suppose. So the central energy is of a person who should be being dynamic, but who can't be because they don't have what they want. It's a general feeling of unsatisfaction, if you like, not satisfied. And my feeling is that this could have been going on for a little while. You know, I said at the start, this is a reading for twin flames in separation, but I feel like it's not a really recent separation. We could be talking a year or more, is my feeling. And it's hard to feel happy. That's the feeling I'm getting off of these two cards. You know, this person is fully out of kilter. They can't be happy anymore. They don't know what makes them happy. They're in a total... they're sad. They're sad. So that's the current situation. What's crowning the situation is the card of truth. This is lovely to have an ace. This could, sometimes an ace of swords means surgery, needles, things like that, but not today. This is a card of truth. This is a true connection. And the fact that it isn't moving forward is causing quite a lot of upset, I would say. Or has caused quite a lot of upset. Because the Ace of Swords is a positive card. And because it's in the crowning position, this is what is obvious or what is seen. So what it looks like to the outside observer is that this is a true connection. And now that's a strange thing to say, because my feeling is that actually how many people even know about this connection? To me, it feels like it could be sort of secret. So if other people don't know about it, then to the two people involved, they know what it is. They know exactly what it is now. But there still isn't any movement going forward. What is underpinning the situation? Well, this will explain the entire thing. Is a very, 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 very slow moving male energy. This is a young man. It could be a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Doesn't have to be. Somebody who's taking a long time to think about what to do or what they want or how to do what they want. They probably know what they want, but they don't know how to get what they want, or they don't know how to make what they want a reality. And if you're the person waiting for this male to get moving, for want of a better phrase, this could feel quite difficult. I'd like to take extra cards to underpin the bottom, so I'm going to the bottom of the deck. Holy moly. And what we've got here, crikey. Well, we've got it all really. So we have the slow moving knight. We have a miserable situation, although this situation has come to an end. So maybe the slow moving knight has decided that he can't move this forward, and so he isn't going to. But we also have the Queen of Cups. So the situation as is between these two people, it could be that the Queen or the feminine energy is older than the Knight of Coins. It could well be, actually. More experienced maybe, or more wise. I don't know. Older is the feeling I get. But we've also got this Ten of Swords. So let me just clarify for you what the Ten of Swords is talking about. And in general terms, this is an ending with hope for a new beginning, because in here you can see there's a lovely sunrise starting, even though this poor person has got the 10 swords in his back. It's a definite end to a way, I want to say a way of life. I think, and because it's in the underground position or the underneath position, I suspect that this twin flame situation is having a big impact on both parties, but I feel like the masculine is having to change, has decided actually. I feel like he's decided he needs to change his life, is what it feels like to me. Like this situation is intolerable. It cannot go on. He's beyond being fed up and upset about it, and is resigned to the fact that something has to change. We'll find out a little bit more in a minute as to what is going to change, whether that means he has to leave this connection behind, or whether it means he's going to change his life in order to have the connection. At the moment, we're not quite sure, but there is going to be a big change. And this is sort of following on from yesterday's reading, where I was talking about a calamitous situation. If you'd like to have a look at that video that I did yesterday. It wasn't particularly for twin flames, but today I felt very strongly that this video is about twin flames. Yeah, he's very clearly got the Queen of Cups in his sights. Now, this could be a water sign woman, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, doesn't have to be. Or it could be that he's got a difficult conversation to have with a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio woman, which is bringing about a big change. Not necessarily the second party of the twin flame connection. It might be that he actually has to have a difficult conversation with somebody else in order to move the twin flame connection back together, because this is a story of current separation. If we look in the past position, this was central to yesterday's reading. This is now in the past position. So yesterday this was right at the centre. Today it's in the past, which is quite interesting. To my mind, that means that things are moving forward. If the stress and anxiety and upset that was central yesterday, today is in the past, and I feel like it's not the distant past, this is the recent past. I mean, these cards feel like they're all pretty close together to me. We're not talking years ago there was a bit of stress. No, this was very recent. It could be that you've actually found a way forward, or a way of reconciling this upset and a way of living with it so that it isn't your entire existence, if that makes sense. I mean, what I mean is where you're living your life and you have moments of this upset rather than the upset is your entire life. So you're starting to slowly move past that energy of, but I do think that this energy is very prevalent in the night time. I think you know what it is when you're busy in the daytime and you're doing stuff and you might have pangs or, you know, flashes of the other person from time to time, but during the night time, it might be difficult to sleep. It might be difficult to stay asleep. It might be difficult to get off to sleep because of this upset. But that is starting to recede, it feels like to me. Thank goodness, I would say as well, because there's nothing worse than not being able to sleep. So then we're moving into the forward position here, which is lovely, which is the High Priestess, which is you knowing stuff, or him knowing stuff, or the both of you knowing stuff. We've already got one card of true knowledge. Now we've got another one. This is what's telling you your intuition is on point. So if your intuition has been telling you that something is shifting forward, finally, you're right. If your intuition is telling you that it's time to let go of this connection for good and leave it in the past, and you're happy to do that, then you're also right. But if your intuition is telling you that really you should try and leave this in the past, but for you it is still impossible because there's too much connecting the two of you in the 5D, which when I say that, I mean in your mind, if you like, your imaginings, your emotions and your thought projection to another person. If there's too much of that going on, then it won't be possible. And you'll know that. So if you're still getting an awful lot of thinking, feeling and flashes of the other person all the time, even though you're not speaking to them and you haven't for about a year or similar time to that, or a number of months at least, then I think if your intuition is telling you that something is shifting, then I think you're right, and I think something is shifting into forward motion. But what I feel quite strongly is the forward motion is centered around what the masculine is doing. So if you are the feminine in this situation or relationship or connection, then you are just really doing you. You're just sitting in your own energy. You're knowing what you know. You're living your life. You're trying to put thoughts of the other person out of your mind in order to get on. And you're sort of quite solid and stable in that thought, I would say. And, you know, you've put the anxiety, or you're putting the anxiety behind you. I'm not convinced that the masculine has put the anxiety behind him. He clearly hasn't. He's still in a bit of a state here, but he is starting to move things forward. Right, here, this was the general situation that you're in. This is you. This is brilliant, because you have the card of victory. So if you've been trying to leave a connection behind or trying to focus on other things, then you're doing it. If you're trying to move your life forward, then you're managing it. If you've been waiting to hear from somebody else, like the masculine, then you're managing to wait in a fairly healthy way. Your waiting is not overtaking everything. You're doing it right. You're well. You're better than you were is probably a better way of putting it, I think. Excuse me. I just had to have a drink of water there. You're doing better than you were. You're doing better than you probably thought you could, because this is an all-consuming connection after all. So well done to you for that. And that's a situation that's going to keep going on as well. That won't suddenly stop. So if for example, you do find that the masculine gets back in touch, you won't lose your equilibrium because you're in a good place. I don't think they're in a good place. In fact, they're not in a good place, but you're in a good place, and that will continue. And that's what we want, really. We want you to be in a good place, feeling good about who you are and how you live. And if they come back and they offer you something worth having, then you can accept it, or you try it out, whatever. But you're not going to lower your standards. This is you feeling quite, you know, you've made progress and you're proud of it, and quite rightly so. So well done. This is the home position. This is very nice. It looks to me like at home you're ready for a change, or you're ready to just throw caution to the wind and do something a little bit unusual, perhaps. I don't know, like, I feel like maybe move house or remodel a house or go on a long holiday or do something that is different. I'm not sure that you're necessarily doing something different around the home or your home environment, but you might be thinking about making changes in and around the home. And I think that's great because these two energies work in a very positive way together. So this is really nice. The next one is really interesting. I mean, you can't really get two stronger women than this together in a reading. I mean, you are absolutely firing on all cylinders. This position here is for hopes and fears. And if you were hoping to get a handle on this situation that's been ongoing, and to know your own worth, and to rise above any pettiness, and to resist the less, what's the word, less good, what's less good? The worse. If you've been able to resist the worst parts of the connection and you're moving forward, then you're doing really, really well. This is the Empress. This is the best female in the deck, really. She knows her own worth. She is very stable, very secure. She's everything that the masculine is after. And she's sitting in her own energy, proudly, calmly, quietly, not phoning, not texting, not answering. I mean, why would you? Because that's the energy. That isn't what you're up to at all. You are just in a much, much better place. And it could be, or it feels to me, that this might have shifted fairly recently. Well, as I said yesterday, this was the Nine of Swords was central to the situation. Today it's in the past's position, which makes me feel like you might all of a sudden feel like you're doing better. And you might have been hoping to feel better for a long time, and you might suddenly find that this week you are feeling better. You are coping better. You're not struggling so much. You might even, dare I say it, be finding other people attractive. It does happen. You might be putting thoughts of your divine masculine to the back of your mind and thinking about moving things forward and looking at other possibilities. Well, you can do that because you're extremely attractive at the moment. The sitting in your own energy, owning your own power. No, not owning your own power. Owning your own, feeling powerful. Owning your own rights, desires, possibilities. Owning your own worth, but also owning your own life in a way. So knowing what you want out of life, being able to focus on you. You've brought the focus back to you, and rightly so. And if it feels like this is a bit of a surprise, I wasn't expecting this, it's a good thing, especially if you've been really sort of stuck in a quagmire of thinking about somebody else obsessively. This is great that you're able to put them to the back of your mind. This is lovely energy. And I expect that the masculine will be able to sense that you have moved from this obsessive thinking and not sleeping into this, oh, hang on, everything's bright and sunny and I'm feeling pretty good today. And I think they're going to, they'll sense that. They'll sense that you're moving forward from them, moving away from them. And that's a good thing. The outcome. Can't wait to know. We may take another one to clarify this, is the 10 of Wands. This is the end to what has been a very difficult situation. Now we've got the masculine is going through the 10 of Swords and the feminine is putting down the 10 of Wands. It's been a bloody big, heavy burden to carry. And you're finally able to put it down. So this is the end of a phase, end of a cycle, actually, in well, an end of a cycle within this connection. So the connection itself may not have ended, but the way you feel or the way you have felt in the past about the masculine, it has come full circle now. You started off, you know, chasing them, whether you like it or not, it does happen. And then at some point you got to a point where you thought, I can't do this anymore. And then you went through a period of feeling very unhappy and obsessively thinking about them. And now you've come to the full circle, which is taking you to, actually, I've had enough now. It's time for me to focus on me. So these two cards, in fact, we can go further than that. All of these cards that we've got in the last row are really, really positive cards of change. Change and victory. Change and improvement. Change and... change of desire, actually, I want to say. Changing your desires. Change of what you want. That is changing, or that has changed. You've changed what you want. You don't want that anymore. You know what you want, and it isn't to be hanging around waiting for somebody else. I'm just going to take another card because I'd like to see if there's anything else to add to the 10 of Wands today. Oops. Ooh, heck. Right, there was a lot going on there. Right. And you can see why I tend not to shuffle on camera. Right. That is brilliant, because that's an end to being stuck in a cycle, the 8 of Swords. So in this reading, we've got the 8, 9 and 10 of Swords. And your 8 of Swords feeling like you were trapped in a situation you couldn't get out of. And a situation that you'd made yourself, that you'd put yourself in by this constant thinking, is ending. I'm very happy with that. And then we also had these two cards fall out, which I will read together. Let's put those back. Wow. It's interesting because I don't know which came first. So you're either retreating from this situation, taking yourself off and being the Empress, which is bringing in new love, or you've got some new love coming in, which you might decide to retreat from. I'm not sure I like that way so much, so I think I'm going to read it this way round, that the retreating, and it does feel more likely as well, especially if I line it up with these other two cards that were for the end. So there's an end to the obsessive thinking and feeling stuck. There's a movement away from that, and that is going to herald in a new start and potentially a brand new love. Now, when I say a brand new love, I think a lot of you might be thinking, even though you're happy to move forward from the situation and stop all the thinking and all that sort of thing, you might be thinking, I don't know if I want a brand new love. I might like this love to pull his finger out and get back in touch with me and know what's what and spot who I really am. And I think that's perfectly valid. And I also think it's perfectly possible, because don't forget, he's a slow moving man. He's a slow-moving man who's really struggling and who is also thinking obsessively about a woman. So it could be that he is going to get back in touch, finally recognise what's been going on, and offer a really good, not offer a really good love deal. That sounds ridiculous. It sounds like I'm selling love. I'm not selling love. What he will be offering is a new way of looking at the situation with a genuine offer of love. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave it today. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.